talking with Howie Zarin, the head coach of the BCFC Cullen Cup champions, the Langley Rams. And how does that sound, Howie? You getting used to that on the attached to the name?
No, you know what? I can't hear it enough, Dom.
Well, it looks like you've got a ride along in the back seat. What's going on back there?
Well, he's having a little bit of a nap. He's had a few hard days, so he's just trying to get a little extra Z's in.
I mean, I want to talk about the Sunday first before we look ahead. I saw your quotes in the Kelowna paper to Wayne Moore. You bent him over the knee, gave him the spanking and all that. That was a game that meant a lot to you, to your players, to your organization. There was a real feeling that a score needed to be settled there. Would you agree with that, Howie?
Yeah, absolutely. The Okanagan Sun are a great football team. Some people are saying, no, you're talking down to them and you don't think they're a very good club and all this. That's got nothing to do with it. They said a few things about our club, and what I promised our boys that if they stayed off social media and they didn't get into that banter with them, that I would respond, and I would respond loudly and a little bit rudely for them if they stayed focused all week. So that's what I did. That's what they did, and here we are.
I know you expected to win. I know you believed you would win, but to win the way you did, was there even a part of the point in the fourth quarter maybe where you said, oh boy, this is going better than I even thought?
Yeah, absolutely. At first when they turned the ball over a couple times there, I was very conservative with the play calling, and I just thought, let's just get some points on the board. And sure enough, I think we went 3-0, then 6-0, I believe. And then, they kept turning the ball over more and more, and the points just started piling up. And I didn't think we were finished yet till about halfway through the third quarter. At halftime, I was like, okay, you know what? They're going to come out. They're going to have a little better attitude and look like they actually cared about being out there. But you know what? They didn't. If I was a neutral party watching that game and watching the pregame, I would have for sure picked the Rams to win that game. Our club was focused, and that's a credit to our coaching staff. They did a hell of a job preparing our boys. But I looked over there, and the Sun didn't have any life, Dom. They didn't look like they cared. Now I could be wrong. Maybe it's just something I saw. I don't know, but you know what? A lot of people were saying the same thing.
Wow, that's interesting. I didn't see the game. I wasn't there myself, but that is it's hard to imagine you can't get up for that game of all games in your own park.
Yeah, I absolutely. You know what? And the funny thing is it wasn't just myself or my coaches or even people part of the Rams organization. It was other people that that were saying that. So it is what it is. There is some players on that team, guys like Connor Richard and Kitzman and Tyler Going and there's a few more. Austin Daisy played a hell of a football game for them. So they did have some guys who actually went out there and still, went balls to the walls. But again, I would say the majority of that team, they didn't care if they won or lost.
So for your club, some of the stats: 73 yards of net offense you held them to, 8 turnovers. Javon Couture had another big day. The guy is just absolutely lights out right now. Duncan Little played really well. What part of your game did you like the most, if looking at all those things?
Duncan Little for sure. As far as Javon goes, it's sad to say this, but I expect that from Javon. The guy is all world. I would be surprised and disappointed if that kid isn't playing in the CFL next year. Being 6'5", 240, hands like he has, and he runs a legit 4.6. So it's tough to see him not in a CFL uniform next year, but it is what it is. But definitely Duncan. Duncan's been inconsistent. When Duncan's playing well, he's very good, and when he's not, he's very bad. And I think maybe 2 throws in that whole game, Duncan made a bad throw. But after that, I thought Duncan played a perfect game, whether it was audibling to certain plays, whether it was throwing to the right spots, throwing on time, just being an all-around leader. Duncan was the best thing about that game for sure.
So we spoke earlier last week, and you were very clear to me right in front of Ben McCauley, the whole nine. Tristan Yansu, the rookie's going to start. And I'm on my weekly preview video talking out of my you-know-what about how this rookie's going to start. It's a great storyline. And then Duncan goes in and plays the whole game. And, I mean, you really Bill Belichicked us there, Howie. What was sort of the thinking and the plan there? Was there a plan? What was going on there?
I don't know if there was so much a plan as much as I just, I know that Duncan and Tristan are two complete different quarterbacks. Tristan throws a deep ball very well, and he still isn't there yet on the mediocre routes or the small ones, right? Where Duncan can pick you apart. So, maybe a little bit of gamesmanship on my part, but it is what it is. And you know what? You still look good doing the interview, don't?
Well, that was never in doubt, Howie. So, I don't appreciate being used as a vessel for your gamesmanship here.
I apologize. Hey, this week I promise to tell you the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. So, I mean, we look ahead now. The Ontario Football Conference has a stigma about it, I guess. I mean, let's be honest. The BCFC, I guess I should say that the PFC is to the BCFC what the BCFC is to the OFC. The PFC is seen as the dominant older brother, and the BCFC owns the OFC as well, and they're sort of the outliers in the CJFL as far as skill and playing on that national stage. And don't get upset about that, OFC fans. That's the way it is, and the results and the stats bear that out over the last decade or more. How do you view the Ontario Conference this year from your connections? What are you hearing about the level of ball out there and the level that this undefeated Hurricanes team is playing at?
Well, I don't know too much about the past because I've never been involved in a game like this myself, right? I've seen a few games, but also the games I've seen were teams you played for. And, I mean, the VI Raiders were a dominant team. So, I mean, as far as them pounding out OFC teams, was that so much because OFC wasn't very good or just because the VI Raiders were that dominant? I can only go by what I've seen on this Hamilton team, and we've looked at some film. And listen, man, they got an athletic quarterback. They got a good running back. Their defense flies around, and they're a heavy team. They got some big boys. So there is some challenges for sure. And you know what? If we don't come out and play our best game, it won't be us going to Saskatoon. It will be Hamilton.
What's the challenge for a coach and even a player preparing for a team you know so little about?
Well, I think the big thing for us is like for instance, the Okanagan Sun. We could have told you what they were going to do in every situation, and likewise, they could tell you what we were going to do. Here there's obviously some a little bit of magic to it, I guess. So we just got to keep in the film room, study their tendencies, and I think we've got them pegged down from what we saw. And like I said, we've got a really good coaching staff, a lot of veterans on that coaching staff. So I mean, they're going to pick apart this film, and they're going to get our boys ready.
What's the buzz like in Langley, Howie? I mean, I know it's a big township, and there's a lot to do for people out there. And the Rams, might not be in top of everyone's mind every day, but this is a provincial champion playing in a national semifinal. What's the buzz around town like?
Well, I know for the football community around here, a lot of people are excited to go watch the game. So, and I know Dana and C&D Logistics have offered to pay for all the kids wearing their community or high school football jerseys. So I know that we'll see a lot of those kids out to the games. But also, even just like the regular fan, of the game, they're pretty excited about coming out. And, I've had a bunch of buddies texting me saying, hey, they're making this, they're making that. We're going to be loud. And, let's make sure we get that extra keg of beer from the trading post as well.
And I mean, home field advantage, it's going to be big. That's a tough trip for those guys. Do you talk about with your players the start of the game? Let's get a jump on them. Don't let them get comfortable.
Absolutely. It's a 5-hour flight or whatever it is from Hamilton, and then the 3-hour time change. They don't come in till Friday afternoon, and then they play 24 hours later. So, you know what? Let's get on them early, and then maybe they can't find their legs right off the bat, and then by the time they do find them, maybe it'll be too late.
So you very effectively, and I credit you for this, created a rallying point for your team last weekend. It was that the Sun disrespected us. Nobody wants us to win. We're going to go up there and get, sort of payback, so to speak. And that really seemed to work and drove your guys. So what do you go to this week as the coaching strategy, the rallying point, or is there one? How do you go in that area?
Well, we've got a couple of things going on right now, Dom. One is that we're here now. Why stop, right? I mean, you got the Saskatoon Hilltops, who are, the greatest junior football franchise in the country. They have been for, well, I don't even know how many years, but a lot. So
About 60.
I think yeah, about 60. So the biggest challenge for me right now is to keep our boys focused on Hamilton and not looking ahead to the Hilltops, because you know what? Everybody from the start to the finish wants to play the Hilltops because they're the best of the best. So, our crying point or rallying point, whatever you want to call it, is, hey, listen, man, we're here. Let's go all the way. But also, we found a little motivation for the bulletin board from the Hamilton Hurricanes. So it's been posted all over the change room, and the boys will see that when they get there tonight.
What's that? Where did that come from?
We found it on their schedule, oddly enough. On their schedule, the 2018 schedule, they've already got themselves penciled in for a trip to Saskatoon. So, you know what? A couple of the boys have seen it, and you know what? We'll use that to our advantage, and if it is what it is, right?
It's like a team has to go in full blackout mode to get away from making Baltimore material for you guys right now.
Hey, listen, we thrive off it, right? I mean, the boys have fun with it. I don't allow them on social media, and for the most part, I don't think they've been on there. But this generation, it's a pretty tough thing to do.
Yeah.
Especially a guy like Maximilian Joseph. I mean, he's on his phone 24/7. So I mean, you gotta keep him under wraps, and you just gotta make sure the players see the big picture, and the big picture is winning the football game, not talking about winning the football game.
Howie, I appreciate your time. Good luck. Go out there, represent BC with pride, and get the job done, man. I appreciate this.
I appreciate you, Dom. Take it easy, man.